Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk Stupid. I'm Compound.
And I'm Proud, and today there are just the two of us. And today's topic is
Vacation and tourism, whatever you would like to call it. But I'm pretty sure that all of us could use a break outside of our house because we have been living inside, a tiny space for a while now. So why don't we talk about something that we cannot do right now?
Sure. And actually, usually many people consider quarantine as their staycation. I think it's kind of funny.
I don't know, but a lot of people still have to work from home and study from home. So I think it's like mixing your vacation or, your relaxing time, your break time with your work. And everything was just like, phew.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we have as a little game on the introduction part of our episode today?
So it will be me and Compound exchanging. So I will be describing Compound's dream vacation, and she'll describe mine, and yeah, that's basically it.
Kind of like planning each other's dream vacation.
Exactly. So would you like to go first?
Nah, I think you'd go first. That'd be better. Just let's keep the tradition going.
Okay, whatever. To be honest, I don't really know what would be the best your dream vacation, but I think that you won't be a type of person who would go to places just to see like landmarks and things like that. I think you'd be a type who would go to the country that has your favorite author or your favorite figures. Like you would probably go to the United States to meet the author of the Fahrenheit 451 book and to get his signature or something like that. Or you would go to London, to Baker Street, to follow Sherlock Holmes' trail, or things like that. I think that's a bit more like you from my perspective though. And maybe you're interested in like the local food, and that's just it. Just anywhere with like your favorite figure, that would do.
Oh, that actually sounds very good and very accurate because I would like to visit Dublin sometimes because my favorite author was there.
Huh.
Okay,
So-
thank you very much. Do you have anything else? Or is that just it, so I should just roll over?
To be honest, that's just it. I literally have no idea.
Okay, then it's my turn then. I've remembered from our first episode, I've said that, okay, I want to visit the Mariana Trench, and you were like,
Oh
yeah,
yes.
that sounds good.
Totally forgot, sorry.
That sounds good. So I actually planned you a vacation to Mariana Trench. So what I want you to do now, it's pretty corny, but you gotta do it anyway for the sake of your own entertainment. Close your eyes.
Okay, I'm closing my eyes.
Okay, now you now step on a submarine as big as James Cameron's and as expensive. Oh no, even more expensive than James Cameron's. I don't know why I need to add that, but you know.
I don't know who
Okay,
he is. Sorry, my world is
He's the
very
director
narrow.
of Titanic.
Oh, really? To be honest, I've never watched Titanic.
Okay, me
That's
too.
even worse. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, so you now descended to the sunlight zone, or to call it technically, it's the mesopelagic zone. This
Oh my
zone you
God.
find a lot of beautiful coral reefs. You even see the orca whales, the turtles, and everything in Finding Dory and Finding Nemo is there.
You really
So
put
fantastic.
a lot of effort.
The world of Wonderland, Sealand Wonderland, whatever you would like to call. You also find a lot of trash though. You feel a little bit disappointed in humanity, but you don't have any choice. You can resurface, but you will lose all of your money, so you keep going down. The next zone is called the twilight zone, or that's the mesopelagic zone. I'm sorry. The sunlight zone is epipelagic zone. Just forget
Oh my
about
God.
that.
The technical terms.
Exactly. The light from the sun diminishes to a faint glow. There's not enough sunlight here to support photosynthesis in plants or microorganisms. This is the place where all animals go to sleep. Yeah.
Fish do
And
not sleep, sorry.
They actually went there in the night. I don't know why, but it is said here
Really?
from the
But
document that I
like,
cite that
I
they
don't
went there in
really
the night.
think they sleep. They sort of like stay still. It's not like they close their eyes or anything
They
like that.
hibernate, let's say the least, right?
Hibernate is the term used for mammals, but sure.
Okay. Sorry, they rest. Right? Okay, they take a break.
Okay.
So here
Sure.
you can see a lot of some mysterious figures. It's actually fishes. They are using the technique called counter illumination, or what I call invisible fishes. These invisible fishes use lights to make them look invisible. Yeah, next part. And you are also seeing a large, mysterious thing. It looks like a plate that falls from heaven. It's the sunfish, and it doesn't do anything. It's just move around, and there's a rant of sunfish in Reddit. You can see it. You also see the mysterious coelacanth, which is an animal from dinosaurs' ages. You went deep down and saw a lot of jellyfish. There's a show of lights around you. It's so luminescent in here because all the animals are using bioluminescence to attract mates, or lure a prey. Then you see the great white shark. It's about to eat you, but it can't because it was blocked by the
Really?
glasses.
Do like sharks live that deep in the ocean? Or is
Oh,
it like the meg?
The megalodon. Oh, well, just keep on listening. You might find something else.
Sure, okay, sure.
I'm about to sleep. Then you journey into the dark and you find a deep sea anglerfish, like Finding Nemo, but now you're not seeing any Nemo anymore. So you keep going down and you see, stuff. For example, like xenophores or like
You see
jellyfishes
stuff?
living together. And you saw the whale fall. And now you're seeing the whale fall. The whale fall is basically a dead whale that has sank to the ocean floors, and there's a lot of creatures there. And also there's a lot of sharks there too. For example, like cookie cutter sharks. They have like the mouth that look like cookie cutter. They just used to eat whale's corpse.
That's gross and dark. And let's move on.
And you also see the sleeper shark because you asked about shark and you should have never done that. So the green ladder sleeper shark is like, it's creepy. You can look at what? But what? Okay, so now you see something called the chimera. It looks like a rat and a shark combined. That's why it gets its name. Chimera, it's like a mythical thing that has a lot of animals inside it. And now you reach the deep, or something called the midnight zone. The midnight zone is very dark. You find the Titanic, and also you find a lot of vent. Natural gases vent.
I have a question, like where did like the station, the land station that I got into, because I have to like go down, right? So if I found Titanic, does it mean that I'm in like the northern area where there's like an iceberg or something?
Oh, you know what? You can never really go to the deep sea, so all is imaginary. I just made stuff up.
Okay. I'm just messing with you. Sure, let's continue.
Okay, and now you see the Meg. But it's not actually megalodon. It's megamouth. How disappointing. It's a shark that has like a filtered teeth, like ones that whales have. It's terrifying. Looks hideous. I'm sorry not to bully you, megamouth. But like you go down, deeper, you not reach the abyss zone. You are now at the trenches or hadopelagic zone. This zone you see a lot of vent. It looks like an underwater volcano, but mysteriously there's an ecosystem there. You could not believe it. There's Yeti octopus, a lot of octopuses, clams, and also sea worms that looks nothing like their counterparts in the light area, because these ecosystem remains intact from the outside world for like billions of years. Their evolution is very different from those live nearer to the surface. And you reached the Challenger Deep, but suddenly your window cracked.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of pressure there. So your window cracked, you freaked out, you cry a couple of times, and you think about God and your parents. But fortunately, you return to the surface. That's it, the end.
Oh, thank you. It's quite an adventurous story. I feel bad, I feel ashamed that I didn't put as much effort into it as you did. Oh my god.
Oh, don't worry, you already cried about that when your window cracked.
Whatever. I probably, in real life, to be honest, I probably give up when like I saw sharks. I was like, oh no thanks. And I do hate like ocean, so I don't think that's realistic, but it's definitely an enjoyable story. Great job.
In like deep sea, it's not only the shark appearances that are scary. It's because there's some phenomenon called deep sea gigantism. It makes them obnoxiously large. For example, like a little squid that you see will become so large and so scary. They're like Lovecraft thing, and they're like those pictures I've sent you weeks ago. So exactly, I think that a lot of people have like fears of the deep, because first it's dark, second they're full of like frightening stuff that you don't know when you will encounter. But still, would you like to give it a try? Only like 6 or 3 men have been down there, and a lot of people have already been to space already.
To be honest, for me, I think the reason why I don't like the ocean or beaches is because I don't know what's under there. Like literally, I'm afraid of like stepping on some poisonous something. I'm not sure. So that's why I don't really like beach. And do you know, like in Thailand, many beaches in Thailand have like those small crabs, and they'll dig like a small hole and sort of roll the sands into small balls, right? I hate those crabs because I'm afraid to step on them, and there were like millions of them on the beaches, and I was terrified every time, and I couldn't understand why people walk on the beaches with bare feet, and I was like mortified every time I saw that. But to be honest, is as you've said, I would be in like a submarine, right? So I think it would be fine. I'd be protected at least, so I wouldn't be that terrified. It's just the fear of like stepping on something or drowning.
Exactly. Actually the window cracking part was a true story for the 2 first people who've been down there, and they are the first 2, so they were like, God, no, we're going to die, and then they survived. But actually there's another fear, like, are you afraid of like small spaces and being lonely?
No, I'm not claustrophobic. Is that what it's called? Like being
Claustrophobic.
Afraid in the small space? I don't think so. I'm not afraid of the dark either. I'm just afraid that I might harm other living beings or things like that. It's minor.
Then you can go with me so we can share the bed down there, and we don't have to be lonely. And maybe if we didn't make it, then I'll eat you. Just joking.
You should cut that part out.
Yeah, that was too dark.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyway, I think that what's really terrifying and make me hate going to the beaches, like, I've never actually been to like diving or deep sea or anything. I just like them. But what is really disturbing about the sea is that I've actually been to one like last year or whatever, and it was like the rainy season, so the wind were blowing pretty strong, and the shore, there are a lot of trashes swept to the shores of the beaches. It's high-key disturbing. You see trashes everywhere, and you walked on them. That's worse than walking on a crab. and it cuts your
True.
feet.
That's devastating.
So I help clean up the trash because I'm a
Oh,
good person.
nice.
And next day, all the trashes from
Came
nowhere
back,
comes
right?
again. Yeah.
True. That's so sad.
And
Oh.
imagine.
I just realized that, like, another reason that I hate beaches and the seas or swimming in general is because, well, when you swim, it's kind of enjoyable, but afterwards, my ears is clogged all the time, and I
Oh,
hate that feeling,
true.
and you get nauseous and everything, and I'm not sure if it's like my ears naturally produce lots of earwaxes and it's quite dry, and when you got like all those water into it, it got clogged longer than normal people. It would be like almost a week or two, and it was very rough during my childhood. I could say that I was traumatized by it because I couldn't hear my voice, and my voice was weird, and I get nauseous and everything. So yeah, I hate swimming in general.
I am not a big fan of it too, but if I go into a submarine, that would be fine. But I would like to dive, but I don't know if I can. I'm physically weak. And okay, but like, so because we have VR, right? And with the power of VR, you can even visit like some aliens planet deep sea in Subnautica, for
Mhm.
example. So what do
Mhm.
you think the future of travel will look like?
Sure, I suppose if we are is that advanced, many people would travel there, but it's definitely different from going there yourself, right? Because there's so many other factors, there are interactions. Many people travel is not just because of the sight or just what they see, but the atmosphere, the people, the food. So I don't think it could completely replace the traveling itself, the tourism. People would still want to go there themselves. Like, there is already Google Map in 3D, right? I'm not sure if it's
Right.
called Google World or it's something Google Earth. That's sort of things, but you can already do that now. And I've heard that because many temples in Thailand actually got closed because of COVID. So I've heard that Wat Jang, Wat Arun actually made a virtual version of their temple so that people can visit.
Do we have to pay? Like Thai people
No,
don't have to
no.
pay, but so
It's
it's
no,
free.
I mean it's a website that you can visit the temple in 3D.
Oh, how
In
cool!
CIS 360. Yeah. But
Wow,
yeah, the
that's
world
cool.
is changing.
But what would I can't imagine what Dang would look like if it's not hot. Because the only thing I can think about is hotness. It's so hot there, and when you go around the area of Sanam Luang, Wat Jang, Wat Po, it's pretty, but it's so scorching. And how would it
Mhm.
feel like when you see the sun and doesn't feel the heat? I know I always complain about it being hot though, but it's kind of
You just
ingrained in my
complained before.
memories.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just did. But it just becomes something in a loving memories of mine that when you visit temple, it's hot. It's definitely gonna be hot if the temple doesn't have any air conditioning.
So yeah, I think that's why it's one of its characteristics that you couldn't replace it with VR because people will just adjust it to like the perfect temperature, not its authentic temperature, things like that. So I think sometimes imperfection is just makes it a little more different and a little more charismatic.
Good point. So, what do you think about since people have been making a lot of discoveries recently, and since we both think that we
Mhm.
are not going to absolutely replace everything,
Mhm.
do you think that it would be easier to travel to difficult place? Like we already discussed this about what going down to the Mariana Trenches is like, but what
Mhm.
about the Everest?
Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Sure, I think Mount Everest is isn't I think you can't categorize Mount Everest as a tourist attraction. I think it's more of like a place for a challenge, a place to conquer. So I don't think people would want to commercialize it by saying like if you make it easy for people to go there, it lost its charm. That's
True.
that's my perspective. I feel like the I don't know, the thing about Mount Everest is that you have to work hard to achieve it. If you just got to the shortcut, then what's the point?
That's an interesting perspective. If Mount Everest is something that you can, if you can like, okay, you know what, I quit, I can't do this anymore, and you just disappear to the ground and you'll be fine. There's tons of people who died there, and they even use corpse as like the identifiers of each spots that a challenger need to reach in order to, like a checkpoint or that stuff. And what is the top 3 thing found on Mount Everest?
Corpse?
The first? Oh, no, it's actually not corpse. First is like cereal boxes, second is the oxygen tanks, and third is corpse.
Oh, that's
So I
grim.
think I think that as much as it's a challenge, I think it should be viewed more as like, there should be a lot more assistance in like going up there to reduce the death toll. Because, right now,
Sure.
if you died on somewhere near the top of the Mount Everest peaks, nobody can even retrieve your corpse because helicopters won't go up there.
Maybe it could be something like an 8 after we reach the top of the Everest or something like that, like teleport you down. You conquer it. Congratulations. Please go down safely.
Yay.
Something like that. But sure, I don't know. It's very hard to imagine, but sure, I definitely think that the transportation system will definitely advances more than ever. We could reach like, I hope we could be able to invent a transport that is better than airplane.
Oh, there's train. They did it with the Alps.
Like fast train, bullet train.
It's not actually a fast train, it's actually a normal plane, but it went around the mountain or it goes cut
Plane.
the-
I've heard
Train,
it's
train.
a train. Train?
Yeah, train.
Okay.
Like Thomas.
That's interesting. But I've heard that the reason why I've heard that there's like a type of train that use magnets to like lift the train up, and and the whole thing is like vacuumed, so there's no friction and the train could move very fast. Like people have already invented that type of technology, but the reason why they haven't utilized it anywhere is because it's too expensive and they have to like throw away all other transportation facilities in order to achieve that, and it's too costly. So even though it could be faster, it doesn't make sense economically, and so the reason why we stuck with this type of common means of transportation is because it works just fine. We don't have to like rush that much in life.
I agree. But I think there will be a lot of controversies if trains are really about to be built around Mount Everest. Because, the country that has the country where Mount Everest is located doesn't have too much funds to like, kind of improve the transportation system normally anyway. Like, no shame on that, but to be frank, a lot of people still have to like journey with a guide that is caravan-like styles. So it's basically impossible to do it in the course of like 50 or 10 years.
But again, I don't think normal people would wanna. I'm not sure. You can't really
Would you ride a train?
underestimate people these days. Ride a train
Would you
to
like
where?
to ride a train to the top of Mount Everest?
um I don't think so. I don't know. I want to value it as it is, just like a place that people put a lot of effort into and achieve something greater. But to be honest, I'm not fully understand why they would just give up everything in their life just to conquer a mountain. To be honest, I don't really understand, but well, who am I to judge anyway? But true, it's like it probably gives those people meaning in their life, but not for me, sorry.
Dude, you know what? I'm sorry, but like, it's fine that you don't get it. Like, because maybe you don't have to go there anyway, because people who wear glasses can't go up there. And also, even if you've done LASIK, you can't go up there anyway. So,
Because of the
sorry.
pressure, right? You've probably
But
talked about it.
yeah, because the pressure, exactly. And like, I don't know, but I've got you. I mean, I don't understand too. It's very expensive to go up there, and there's like almost 50% chances of you dying. It's very different from other mountains, but still, we should move on from the Everest.
From my from my point of view, you are like a pixelated person right now. Your internet is so bad. Uh-huh.
I'm like, what?
ดูรูป Okay,
No.
let's continue. You look like a mess. Okay, it's better now. Okay, it's better now. Oh my god.
Alright, cut that part out. Okay, so let's move on. I mean, there used to be a little something called like slum tourism, right, in America, or like ghetto tourism is where ghetto gets its definition. So do you think, as people who live in a country where there is a lot of slum, what do you think about it?
There's a lot of slum. And what is it really related to tourism again? I am not sure. I fully understand.
I mean, because tourism is getting boring, people are trying to find new alternatives of like spicing things up. Positive ways, eco-tourism, negative way, or maybe positive in some point of view, slum tourism.
So they just visit slums?
Yeah, and they were like, oh, you're so poor.
Really, I think it depends on their attitude then. Whether like if you want to help that country and go to slums to like meet the people and improve their lives, then that's great. But
Exactly.
to just basically go there and look down on those people, then I'm not really sure what's the point. Like
I think
slums
it's mixed because slums in where? Bangkok?
I mean, like, no, slums, if you want to go there and just look down on people, why put your time and effort to travel somewhere far away? Why don't you go to your country or your neighborhood to just walk there and find some simple slums? Why waste your time just to find a foreigner's slum just to look down on them?
It's not like they think that, oh, you're so poor. It's like, imagine you are, I do not want to say a specific race. Imagine you're born privileged, and then everything in your life was fine. You got social care and that stuff, and you kind of want to experience what life feels like to be people who are not that rich. And it's especially popular in like tropical country, and they're not just only like traveling to slum and go there like, oh, you're so poor, you. It's basically like sitting there trying to live with people in the slum, going to their house and taking pictures, or watch they perform like performances
Typical
with like
things.
animals like snakes or rats or whatever, like that.
Well, I would say that people are different in taste. Maybe it's more exciting to them. And, well, you could say that these days people are sort of, I would say, typical. People are boring. People are predictable. Maybe they just want to find something to spice up their lives, make things more enjoyable and different.
But don't you think it's like making the problem? Oh, I don't want to drag it. It's too dark. But I think it's just making poverty look like some fancy stuff. It's
Some
like
joke.
normalizing poverty.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But you could view it other ways too. Like if those people visit the poorest, they will probably like those locals might earn some money from just guiding those tourists. You can say it that way as well. But to be
Yeah.
honest, it's like actually I've heard from my parents or someone that selling things on the street, all those like some restaurant under the what do you call that ทางด่วนเรียกว่าอะไรวะ highways
The
like
highway.
all the restaurants under highways or all the food cart that people walk
Oh.
or use motorcycle to make in Thailand, they're actually illegal because they have to pay tax, but those people avoid tax. The same goes with those people who would sell you flowers during like traffic jam, the ones that with like puang malai or some things like that, or the ones who try to wipe your windshield.
Window.
Those are also exactly, those are also illegal, and by supporting them they're just like doing something illegal, and if you give them your money then you're supporting a crime. Even though they are pathetic or they are pitiful, you should take your pity on them or whatever. They have other things to do as well, so like it's like supporting a crime. And so it's sort of like, should you be charitable to those who are poor but they didn't exactly use the right method to be rich or to improve their skills or to be better off? Well, they're not exactly wrong, but it's not right either to do those things without paying taxes.
You could view it that way, but I think that there's a law in our country called progressive income, and those who gains very little wage don't have to pay tax anyway. And also, I think that the system is quite rigged, and it's not like I support these people, but I feel them and I get it why they do it. Jobs are so hard to find, right? Even people who like graduate from good college are having difficulties in finding jobs. Oh well, there's a lot of factors to talk about, but these problems, it is something that you can't prevent. Like, you can stop giving them money, but they're still gonna do it anyway because there's a whole lot bunches of people who are willing to give them money.
To be honest, I've
For
heard
pity.
that like other countries, like country with like welfare states, will provide shelters for homeless people or those people.
Oh yeah.
And but I suppose Thailand should have those too for those people who are unemployed and everything. I've heard that I've heard from someone again, I'm not sure again, it's just something I've heard for a long time, that actually they are provided with food and accommodation in some countries, but those people were reluctant to be helped, so that's why they live on the streets. And I think, well, I couldn't say it's stupid, but definitely it's an arrogant move to not be helped by the government. But I would say that I'm not blaming like those people in Thailand that do the jobs that are not necessarily illegal, but not necessarily legal as well. I'm not blaming on them. I'm just saying that maybe the government should do a better job. But still, who am I to judge? I'm just a 17 years old kid. Exactly. So don't take me too seriously. It's just I've heard it here and there. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of I don't know, but no, I've been to Paris once, and you know those street performers, they are also illegal there, but it doesn't prevent them from playing. And I've heard one band's playing in front of Galerie d'Orsay, whatever it's pronounced, and it's actually pretty nice. So I think it can sometimes be a flavor of your trip, something that is illegal. It's actually pretty good,
What?
pretty
Okay.
aesthetic.
Uh-huh. Maybe.
It's not like you're
Oh.
selling some illegal stuff.
True. It doesn't really harm people, but yeah, those those people trying to wipe your windshields are quite annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
One time my mom was like, no, no, and she was like, so she was
So done.
no, sort of. So she was like turning the wheel like up to the opposite direction, and so we have to like U-turn and everything to redirect our route because of that one person, and it took like 10 minutes more.
It's high-key
Yeah.
annoying because they often clean poorly.
Yeah,
it
and
leaves
look
stains
at
on your
their
glasses.
water. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your windshield was worse, and they're so reluctant. They're so determined. Even though people said like people denied their service, they will still wipe it
Do
anyway
it.
and charge for the money. And I was like, oh.
If you didn't pay, they will not wash like the soap and the bubble, and it will make your window stains more.
Oh, true.
Right?
That's just vicious. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
I have
but
another thing.
that's another. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. I have another thing to talk about. I think like career strategy is very well thought of, like using
Mhm.
K-pop and their series to attract tourists, because like for Thailand, I think Thailand like represents tourism like as the first priority, right? So other industry doesn't grow that well, but for Korea, they support the entertainment industry, and that industry indirectly supports tourism, and I think that's smart because they just normalize their culture, they normalize their food, they normalize their song, and people would want to go to Korea to experience those authentic feeling. And so I think it's better to just like support one industry and indirectly support the other, because you get two industry instead of just one tourism like Thailand usually do.
True. But don't get me started on what I think about Korean industry of like entertainment. I think it's pretty rough. Honestly, a lot of like something that violates human rights has been going on there. But I don't have any proof, and still I'm like 17-year-old, so don't buy my word. You know, you go search for it by yourself. But I do believe that, you know, it's Korean. Yeah, let me talk about this for a minute. K-pop is the representation of like capitalism, right? And you know, I don't. It's
To be
I
honest,
don't believe that our taste is the best.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest, for me, I think K-pops are scary because of like all the things they had gone through to make that face of theirs perfect or look as like a doll as possible. I think it's terrifying, and I couldn't like distinguish any member of like a band, and I feel ashamed. But well, I don't know. It's different people, different tastes, I suppose. And but I think it's something funny that Thai teenagers, especially girls, love K-pop so much, even though we couldn't understand a word of that song.
I mean, first I would like to counter like they don't look exactly the same. Like I can distinguish the members because I used to be a fan, and but I think what's so scary about the industry is that there is this particular company that I've known of, and they kind of like made their members go through so many surgeries even after their debut, and I don't even know if that's consensual or not, because you know they can say it was consensual, but who knows what the truth is. And the members' face changed drastically. I mean, he can even go back to his parents and like ask whether this is their son or not, because it looks really different from what he came from. The
That's
original
so
face was
scary.
not bad. He was a good looking guy, but after he transformed, he looks perfect, but not quite like human, I would say, at least.
More like a doll. Oh, so so scary. And I
More
do
like-
think that they are too pale, to be honest. They're too pale, like they're gonna faint. Every single time I saw those people, I was like, are you serious? You're too pale.
Yeah, you know, they are so pale they look like vampires sometimes with like their
Yeah.
red contact
And
lens.
and to be honest, I find it funny because like I watched lots of like American YouTubers, and
Mhm.
those people were like self-conscious because of their skin are too pale. Like for Western
Yeah.
people, when it's
Yeah.
too pale, it's like a bad thing.
Yeah, but for a Korean, when it's too dark, it becomes like something that was like, no.
Yeah, but to be honest, in Thailand, I think people
Yeah.
we do not have that much of like racism. Well, we do have like a favor for paler skin, but it's not like we discriminate darker skin that much, right? I don't think racism is not that strong in Thailand.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, also enough about K-pop.
Uh-huh.
But I think as long as another thing, their song is designed especially to catch people's heart and like to make people
Catch
feel
people's
loved.
heart? Uh-huh.
I think it depends. If you like it and if
Uh-huh.
you can distinguish that this is not what they actually mean, this is like something that is produced to pander you, that's fine. That's cool. You enjoy the catchy beat. It's okay. I don't blame you.
True.
But if you actually think that they somehow magically love you, like they said, which they might,
That's
I don't
scary.
know, that's
Mhm.
scary.
But being their fan is just expensive. I've heard so many stories from my friend, like buying their album cards and everything. It's just a lot of investment, and I'm not sure. If it buys you happiness, just do whatever you want.
Do it. Do it, but like do it with your consciousness. Like you should know that yeah, this is what they say, but what they actually mean might or might not be the same thing as what they say.
Mhm.
Okay, I think we have gone so far out of tourism right now. So do you have
Sure.
anything else you would like to leave to our listeners?
I'm not really sure, but recently we have like established a theme for a long time, like do whatever you like and use your time wisely and things like that.
As long as you're not hurting us, it's fine.
As long as you're not hurting anyone or yourself, especially yourself. Yay.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I think that's it. I think we've gone pretty heavy this time, even if like it's a
Mhm.
light topic like tourism. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. Oh, we have a question for you. Can you tell us what you want to do with your country's tourism? If you were the government, what would you do in order to improve it? Yeah, because we would really love to know.
Sure.
You can send your
This-
answer to
Let's talk stupid.stupid@gmail.com.